Hello people, right, it's Friday morning and I've got my 9 pips shorting cable. I can see this chart looks a complete mess to you, I do apologise, but all it is drawing the lines on the chart, starting with the monthly chart. As I say, I woke up this morning a bit fuzzy headed. Yesterday was a pretty hectic day. One where I had to wait a few hours for a sensible second trade because the price just kept bouncing sideways and everything, and then I had some other stuff and my normal stuff away from the charts to do. So all in all, today needed to be started with a totally fresh outlook, and how I do that and how I suggest you do it is, if you're following my method as it were, do a similar thing. Just start on the monthly and then build up your trade. So what I'm going to do is I'll just quickly show you the trade and why I took it, and then I will build a chart from scratch. Let's have a look. Right, so we can clearly see we've got a downtrend going on. We're on the 5-minute chart, high, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, and it's continuing. So there was no way that I wanted to consider going long at this stage. As you can see, I've doubled the amount of pips on the table. We've just had the Frankfurt open. I tend not to trade through the hourly crossover, but it was a question of I was in the trade and I had to stick with it. But and the profit came bang on the 7 o'clock open. Now you could say, well, it will spike up. Well, you just put your trade, widen your stops a little bit for a potential spike. But I trust my analysis and I trust my trend analysis enough to hold the trade. I love trading this time of morning. I absolutely love it, and I must remind myself not to waste time waiting for trades when they're just not there. As was the case yesterday, when I think my second trade was probably about 11 o'clock. Bearing in mind the first trade was at about 8 o'clock, if I remember correctly. I had a bit of a lay-in yesterday. Anyway, so the easiest way to approach the chart without these lines, if you're not like me and you don't need to clarify everything in your head, I suggest you have your pivots on the charts. We were clearly above the, we tested R1 here, this is the white line, and we were breaking below the 50 level here. In fact, was that R1? Yeah, it was R1. We must have the daily pivot somewhere below us. Yeah, we're aiming for that now. So a trend away from R1, although that's not part of my strategy. These pivots are becoming more and more in my strategy because I know the big boys and the whole market looks at them. People have a strategy trading the pivots alone. So first port of call was the pound being weak, and the US dollar at the time I entered was showing quite weak as well, although it's smack in the middle at the moment. Now, this is some things that I know people forget to double check, and that's why I have it on here for people that aren't familiar with my way of trading, just pure levels and 3 candle reversals. Always make sure you're trading in the direction of the colour. It doesn't always have to be. On the short term, on these 5-minute charts, you must be below zero, and we've got the punch through as well. Remember, I talk about the momentum, which is it's got to break the 20 line. So over here you can see there's no momentum whatsoever. There was a poke up, of course. There was some Chinese news or something going on, GDP I think it was, which affected price during the Asian session. But as it is here, we want to see this definitely bashing that 20 level. Well, it did. So we had the burst, the pullback, and then the break, and not quite a close below that, but I'm not worried about that this time in the morning because all I want to see is the break of the 20 level, not necessarily an old red. This one could have been considered a burst and then pullback, and then when it breaks the low there, then that's part of the reason I got involved in this trade. As you can see, we burst down, pull back, break and close above the burst, or below the burst in this case, and that's really decent momentum coming into the market. So 15-minute chart, I have to check that's aligned on this as well. Yes, it was red. We were below zero as well. 30-minute chart will be red, consecutively red. So what we can't do also, as a simple rule, we shouldn't be trading against that. Okay, an H1 red prior to my entry. So I don't know what H4 was, but that was turning red if memory serves me correctly, because this is the 6 a.m. Bar open. It's been open now just over an hour and 13 minutes. So that is an easy indicator of which way you should be trading. Just make sure it's the colour, red for shorts, green for longs, and on all the preceding timelines. Something I don't always make clear, but hopefully you've got that clear now. So and there's the trade, and as I say, I got 9 pips. It actually went, and I traded down to that H1 low. You can see that there. All these lines drawn on my charts. Then I'm looking for gaps. So initially the gap was to here, but it's not enough. What do I know will happen? Well, when the market's open, we will. So I could see a massive amount of resistance above me. That's why these lines, in my opinion, are so important, and the rest, as I say. So this was a no-brainer short, really, and that's what you need to sort of try and remember. I had a mentor years and years ago when I first started in this. I think I'd been messing around with it for about 6 or 8 months. A group of us came across a guy that really seemed to know his stuff, and he was showing us stuff for free, and then he suggested a few of us might like to come into a room and pay for it, and he would ensure that we would come out of the end with his strategy that he ensured was going well. I'm sorry I digress a little bit, but the point of this is that even now I remember, just like mantra song, some of the stuff he taught me. And if you can learn one mantra that will help you always be in the right direction of price, it should be use whatever you use. Either say, right, every entry must have just broken the hourly 8 EMA, which I think is massively powerful, or you get an easy method like this free indicator, the RSI histo alert, and you just say to yourself, I can't go long against a short looking bar. So obviously if you're scalping, then you need to adjust your rules accordingly, but this is green, of course. It's open, it's above the daily open by the looks of it. Yeah, the green daily trigger, as TMT daily candle or whatever they call it. But then everything that goes up must come down, as they say, and everything go down might go up. You just need to assess things. So if you're entering a 5-minute chart, really all you've got to worry about is the H4, H1 and so on and so forth. So good rules to trade by, I think, and as it's free, and I think it is massively powerful, a worthwhile addition to your toolbox. So that's this morning's trade. I'm going to produce another video later today of the whole drawing the lines approach to trading, and again, and I will do it with this cable in mind. Okay, so thanks for watching. 9 pips in the bin, and I'm a happy bunny.